Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video. Well, let's wrap up the Transformers marathon with none other than Bumblebee. Yes, Bumblebee. I really enjoyed this film. I loved it. This was really good, especially after the results of Transformers The Last Knight being the worst Transformers movie ever. Like, it was so bad. It didn't take that long for there to be another Transformers movie the next year. And surprisingly, this succeeded. And, another thing is, I don't know, because I read this that Bumblebee is supposed to be a reboot. Like, I guess, but yeah, I mean, after what happened in The Last Knight, it is that the film establishes that Bumblebee had been on Earth, long before he met Sam. He served in World War II. So yeah, definitely Bumblebee, being a reboot and, I guess, a fresh new start for the Transformers films. So, yeah, I guess it's for the best, especially after The Last Knight. So, yeah. Alright, so I'll go ahead and read the description / the story. On the run, in the year 1987, Bumblebee, the Autobot, seeks refuge in a junkyard in a small California beach town. Charlie, played by Haley Steinfeld, on the brink of turning 18 years old and trying to find her place in the world, soon discovers the battled, scarred, and broken Bumblebee. When Charlie revives him, she quickly learns that this is no ordinary yellow Volkswagen. So it's amazing because the opening to this film, literally, we see the battle of Cybertron. And we, of course, see, the Autobots against the Decepticons, and of course, Bumblebee, of course, being there, but Optimus Prime is there, and of course, Optimus Prime, once again voiced by Peter Cullen. And I'd like to mention, because Peter Cullen, he did not enjoy working on this film. I would assume, he obviously enjoyed the movie itself, but it's just that he did not have a good time, voice recording Optimus Prime, because they had got somebody else to voice Optimus Prime, and apparently it was, John Bailey, because John Bailey has voiced Optimus Prime, and already they had animated Optimus Prime speaking to, John Bailey's recordings, and Peter Cullen coming in very later on to re-record and to match the dialogue. And yeah, because, I understand, but you know what? Peter Cullen, he did his very best voicing Optimus Prime, trying to, match and so on, but it just wasn't right, and I understand that. And also, Bumblebee is first goes by B-127, and the Autobots, they're escaping from Cybertron, and Optimus Prime gives B-127 / Bumblebee the coordinates to Earth to, establish a base there, and, the Autobots will come to Earth, but if the Decepticons discover B-127's location, and if they attack Earth, then it's the end for the Autobots. And thus, Bumblebee, he escapes, and Optimus Prime giving B-127 some time, and, the logo shows, and we see, we cut to Earth, and we get the introduction of, Agent Burns, played by John Cena. And basically there's some training going on, and B-127 crashing in, and, they're chasing down B-127. And then at one point, one Decepticon managed to follow B-127, Blitzwing. Yeah, I got that right. And by the way, B-127, he does speak at the beginning of this film, and he was voiced by Dylan O'Brien, so we get a little bit of Bumblebee's actual voice, And, you know, when Blitzwinger comes in, he attacks the humans and B-127. And Blitzwinger is trying to, you know, get Bumblebee to tell him where the location of Optimus Prime is, you know? And Blitzwing, he was voiced by David Sobolov. I think I got that right, yeah. So, Blitzwing attacks and fights B-127. And, you know, because B-127, he refuses to tell Blitzwing where Optimus Prime is, and he says, "I'll never talk." And Blitzwing, he's like, "We'll see about that. You know, we'll take care of it." He cuts out B-127's, like, voice box. He damages his voice completely, and thus that's where B-127/Bumblebee is unable to talk. He's lost his actual voice. But of course, B-127, he does defeat Blitzwing. You know, it's pretty cool because B-127 pulled a tiny missile and then ejected it, like put it in his chest, like Blitzwing's chest or whatever, and fires on it, and Blitzwing is done for. He's killed, and B-127 injured, and you know, Agent Burns, Agent Burns, you know, he sees B-127 walk off, and yeah, of course, Agent Burns is not through with B-127, and B-127, before he passes out at like a lakeside or whatever, he scans a yellow beetle, and you know, taking the form of the yellow beetle. And then, of course, we come to our main human character, Charlie, played by Haley Steinfeld. And Haley Steinfeld, who would go on to play 2 characters in Something Marvel, Spider-Gwen and Kate Bishop. Yeah, so basically Charlie, you know, this teenager who, you know, is a bit depressed, and you know, she misses her dad because sadly her dad has died, and her family, her mother, Sally, played by Pamela Adlon. Yeah, I think I got the last name right. And Charlie's younger brother, Otis, played by Jason Drucker. I think, yeah, I got that right. And Charlie's stepfather. I guess, I'm not sure. Like, the movie doesn't establish that Charlie's mother, Sally, and her partner, Ron, they're married. I don't think so. But yeah, Ron being played by Steven Schneider. Yeah. And Charlie, she works at this fair. She makes corn dogs, and we get the introduction of another new human character who wants to ask Charlie out, just wanting to introduce himself to her and talk to her. Memo, literally, that's his name. Memo, played by George Landborg Jr. I think, yeah, I got that right. Lamborg Jr. I mean, if I say it fast, I don't know. And, you know, we also have a couple of, like, you know, like, rude teenagers, like, picking on Charlie, and one of them, Tina, played by Gracie Dezeni, I don't think I'm saying her last name right. I recognize her. I think she was in that Nickelodeon show, right? The Super Ninjas. Yeah, I think that's her. Yeah, she was also in Jupiter's Legacy. That was pretty cool. But yeah. And Charlie, you know, because tomorrow will be her birthday, and, you know, she is wanting a car, and even say, going to, her uncle's, like, junkyard, shop. Uncle Hank, played by Len Cario. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I don't think so. Basically, Charlie has been trying to, work on a car that's in her family's garage, a Corvette that her and her dad have been trying to repair, but unfortunately, you know, since her dad died, yeah, they haven't been able to finish it, and now it's it's up to her to fix it. And she's finding, like, some parts to fix the Corvette when she stumbles upon a yellow beetle, which being B-127. And, yeah, even, like, say, turning on the radio, that sends out, like, a transmission out in space where we see two Decepticons named Shatter and Dropkick, voiced by Angelina Bassett, I think I got that right, and Justin Theroux. Yeah, so they are the two main antagonists of this film, you know, alongside with Agent Burns. But something about Agent Burns that changes, you know, very later on and near the end of the movie, so, you know, which we'll get to. You know, they have one Autobot held hostage, torturing him and questioning him, where is Optimus Prime, and they receive a transmission from Earth, from B-127, and thus they set a course for Earth. You know, Charlie, you know, her birthday the next day, and, you know, she receives some birthday presents, like, you know, she gets a bike helmet, you know, with, like, daffodils, like, imprinted on the bike helmet, and Ron, his birthday present to her is a book about smiling, I want to say, you know, because, you know, like, Charlie's family, they seem to have gotten over the loss of Charlie's dad, but no, Charlie clearly has not. And that's when, like, she asks her uncle to, you know, for her to have the beetle, and, you know, of course, he kindly does so, you know, and since it's her birthday, and she repairs B-127, and, of course, later on, she, of course, discovers and meets B-127, and B-127, he gets his name from Charlie, because Charlie commented, saying that B-127 sounds like a little bumblebee, and thus she calls him Bumblebee. So that was pretty sweet. And yeah, great moments between Charlie and B-127, and, you know, in the garage, and even say that the next day, Charlie discovers that her mom took Bumblebee because, you know, had to take Otis's dog to the vet. And by the way, because, yeah, the two Decepticons, Shatter and Dropkick, they arrive on Earth, and, of course, they take the form of some vehicles, and they, at one point, form an alliance with Agent Burns and, you know, I think, yeah, the Army, I want to say, yeah. There was General Whalen, played by Glenn Turman, and Dr. Powell, played by John Ortiz. Yeah, I got that right. And Dr. Powell, like, he wants to, you know, make peace and interact with, you know, the Decepticons. You know, of course, yeah, they fall for the Decepticons' trick, you know, because the Decepticons tricking them into, you know, telling them that they're the good ones, and, you know, B-127, now called Bumblebee, is the bad one. So, yeah, you get my point. And, you know, more great and funny moments between Charlie and Bumblebee, especially when Charlie is trying to repair one part of Bumblebee, like, and put in, like, say, like, a radio transmission, like, something like that in Bumblebee. And even, like, say, Bumblebee watching some videotapes, including The Breakfast Club, and doing that. Yeah, that's great. And even Bumblebee at one point plays a tape that was taken by Charlie's dad, because one thing about Charlie is she's a diving champion, you know, diving in water. So, yeah, and Charlie talking a lot about her dad, especially playing one of her dad's favorite songs, and how, you know, like, they were trying to repair and fix the Corvette, but of course, yeah, he didn't manage to help repair it because he died of a heart attack, according to Charlie. And she says to Bumblebee that, she wishes that she can fix the Corvette so that her dad can hear it. Something like that. And gosh, that is just so emotional right there. And especially some moments where Bumblebee and Charlie, they're just giving each other a hug and comforting each other. That's really touching. That really is. And with that going on, like, more with, say, the Decepticons teaming up with, the army and, using the Decepticons using their computers and satellites. Like, what they don't know is that, yeah, the Decepticons do have a plan to bring in, like, I guess, the Decepticons. But, of course, they're still tracking down Bumblebee. And, even at one point, Memo, he, of course, does meet Bumblebee. And it's like, yeah, things escalate pretty quickly with Memo. He gets used to Bumblebee instantly. And even say when, Memo and Charlie and Bumblebee, they drive up to, a group of teenagers having fun at, where, like, the ocean is, and basically, like, one kid that got lemonade spilled on him because, Charlie, working at the carnival and having a tray, accidentally spilled lemonade on him. Basically, like, he challenges Charlie to, to diving in the water, and, she can't really do it, especially because of her dad. And my gosh, Tina just, giving Charlie such a hard time, and especially when she tells Charlie that maybe you should have your dad get you a new car, and oops, sorry. Like, oh my gosh. Like, she literally had the balls to do that, to say that to Charlie. Like, that is horrible, bullies, I tell ya. And that's when Memo suggests to Charlie that they should do revenge. And thus, they're at Tina's house and, like, trying to do toilet paper. They're trying to teach Bumblebee how to throw toilet paper, how to throw eggs at, I believe, Tina's car. And what Bumblebee does instead with the eggs is just, like, dump them and just, like, smear them on the car. And then at one point, he smashes the car, literally, with his own robotic feet. And, she did deserve it. Yeah, Tina rightfully so deserved that, especially after what she said to Charlie about her dad. Like, geez, yeah, rightfully so deserved it. And even Tina coming out and, with cream on her face and seeing that her car is ruined and, Mom! And that's the last we see of Tina. And then afterwards, this funny car chase, Bumblebee driving too fast and a police car on their tail. It's pretty funny. And even say they go through the same tunnel that was used in Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future. Well, that being the Toontown Tunnel. The tunnel to Toontown, that is. Yeah. And even say Bumblebee hid Memo and Charlie from the police, and the policeman thinks that, yeah, the Beetle, which being Bumblebee, is driving itself. Like, yeah. Beetle, bug, it's called a bug, so, the classic bug. And, yeah, that was, like, a fun day for Charlie, Memo, and Bumblebee. And then the next day, well, that's when Charlie has to leave Bumblebee because she has to go to work at the fair, and Bumblebee, at one point goes into Charlie's house and basically wrecks the whole house, even at one point putting his finger into, like, electricity, plugging in cords, and that causes Bumblebee's location to be discovered by the army and the Decepticons. And, yeah, that's when, like, Memo does call up Charlie because of what happened, and, Charlie, she says that it's her fault that, she should not have left Bumblebee, and, yeah, because Bumblebee, just felt sad, like, yeah, he didn't want to be alone. You know, he wanted to be with Charlie. And I just find it weird that that Charlie's parents like think that she did this. She ruined the inside of the house. How could she have done that? Like, seriously. Even Charlie like lets it out on her mom that, you know, about her dad being gone, and they seem to have, you know, gotten over it, but not her. So yeah, you know, pretty emotional right there. And at one point, Charlie and Memo and Bumblebee, they take a drive, and the army happens to meet up with them. And even, yeah, the Decepticons coming in, and Bumblebee is taken in, Charlie brought back to her home, and Charlie, she prepares to save Bumblebee with the help of Memo and her little brother Otis. Like, Otis helping out, you know, finding a way to keep their parents from knowing that Charlie has escaped, you know, stuff like that. And thus, Memo and Charlie breaking in to save Bumblebee, and the Decepticons torturing Bumblebee, asking, you know, and forcing him to tell them where Optimus Prime is. And Dr. Powell, he, of course, overhears this and, you know, discovers that, yeah, the Decepticons are planning to destroy their world. And at one point, it was, yeah, a drop kick, yeah. Drop kick, you know, kills Dr. Powell. Literally, Dr. Powell, like, blows up, like, splat, like, you know, just quickly like that. Yeah, and, like, the same thing happened when they crash land, and these, trailer park couple having an argument, and, you know, the husband gets killed. So, yeah. And thus, the Decepticons, they supposedly killed Bumblebee, and Charlie's so desperately trying to revive Bumblebee with, like, the electric guns. But, of course, Bumblebee is all right, and, you know, Agent Burns and the rest of the soldiers coming in, and, you know, opening fire on Bumblebee. Well, especially because, you know, Agent Burns, you know, grabbed Charlie, and, you know, even Charlie telling Agent Burns that, you know, he's more human than you, and, like, she hits him, like, on the gut, and, like, you know, that's enough, like, kind of throws her on the ground, and that pisses off Bumblebee, and he goes on a rampage, like, firing on the trucks, and, you know, his memory starts coming back to him because his memory was rebooting, stuff like that, you know. And, you know, Bumblebee has to stop the Decepticons, because the Decepticons, they go to a tower to set up, you know, a transmission to the Decepticons to come in and attack Earth. And thus, Charlie and Bumblebee, they go and stop the Decepticons, while Memo, he stays behind, you know, to give them some time. And it was pretty funny and sweet, because Charlie gave Memo a kiss on the cheek, and, yeah, it was pretty funny, because, yeah, again, from the beginning, Memo had a crush on Charlie, and he tries his best to, you know, tell them to stop, but, of course, they drive past him, so it's pretty funny. I mean, he did his best, you know, he did the best he could. And by the way, because Sally and Ron, Charlie's parents, they discover that Charlie is gone, and, you know, they force Otis to tell them where Charlie is, and, you know, they're chasing after Charlie and Bumblebee, and it's pretty funny, even Ron trying his best to drive, and it is pretty funny, like another pretty cool car chase, and with some funny moments. And, you know, after all that happened, like, these cars that are this close to hitting, you know, Charlie's car, you know, they did not once get hit, nor say Agent Burns in the vehicle that he was in. And Otis, because he had this look on his face like, Like, he was, like, shocked, like, oh my gosh, and he was like, that was totally radical, however he said it, and he vomits. It's pretty funny. And so, to speed things up, Bumblebee takes on the Decepticons, while Bumblebee put Charlie, like, keeping her safe in a dumpster. Charlie goes and, like, because she is a mechanic, like, she attempts to, stop the Decepticons sending a distress call, a transmission to the Decepticons, and she successfully does so. And this was pretty cool because Bumblebee, defeating Dropkick by using a chain, wrapping it around him and then pulling it, and that basically kills Dropkick. Dropkick. An explosion, like, gosh, like that, pardon my French, that was a badass moment for Bumblebee. And one Decepticon left, which being Shatter. And Shatter was this close to, killing Charlie, but of course Bumblebee saves Charlie, by firing at Shatter. And by the way, because Agent Burns, this time on a helicopter, and, like, I think on a helicopter or a jet, I can't remember, I think helicopter, yeah, helicopter, coming in and attacking and firing on the Decepticons, and his helicopter is this close to crash, but Bumblebee saves Agent Burns' life, and yeah, something changes in Agent Burns, realizing that Bumblebee is a good robot, and, he saved his life, so yeah. And Bumblebee defeating Shatter, well, Shatter was this close to killing Bumblebee, like, I'll kill you first, and then I'll kill her. Bumblebee fires, and, he did not hit Shatter, even, she said, you missed. But nope, he did not miss, because he fires where there's water, and the water comes at them, and along with that, a boat, and the boat hits Shatter, and thus Shatter is defeated. Bumblebee, he goes underwater like he's gonna drown. But of course, Charlie, this was her moment to dive, and thus she does. She helps Bumblebee get back up to the surface, and Burns helps Bumblebee escape and, let him go. And Charlie says to Burns, thank you, and Burns says thank you back. And then, he shouts to Bumblebee, hey, soldier! Salutes him, and what Bumblebee does next, yes, like what he learned from the Breakfast Club, that's great. And by the way, I almost forgot to mention, because throughout most of the film, like, with the radio that Bumblebee has, like, he's trying to learn how to talk, with the radio, and he successfully does so. And also, it was pretty funny because, like, the songs that Charlie puts in Bumblebee, and he doesn't like any of the songs, like, he's not a Smiths fan, as Charlie says, and even, like, I guess the movie rickrolled us, because that song plays Never Gonna Give You Up. And at one point, yeah, Bumblebee does play the song of a song from the Smiths, and yeah, Charlie's happy to hear that. And by the way, at one point, Bumblebee played a song from the animated Transformers film. You got the touch, you got the power! Like, that was a nice reference. Very well done. And by the way, the Autobots, how they look in Bumblebee, they resemble how they looked in the Transformers animated series. So that's pretty cool. Like, a very good job on that. Yeah. And so, yeah, Charlie and Bumblebee, they leave, and at one point, Memo meets up with Agent Burns. Even say when there was an explosion, because Agent Burns and the soldiers, they exploded the doors that were closed, where Charlie was trying to resurrect Bumblebee. At one point, Memo's arm got broken, and later on he got a cast. So cast. Bleh. It was pretty funny because Memo asked Burns if he could call his mother. Yeah. And sadly, Charlie and Bumblebee, they say their goodbyes, and and thus, Charlie, assures Bumblebee that she will never forget him. Yeah, and another thing is that Charlie tells Bumblebee that he has those to be with and help out, and the same thing for her. And Bumblebee, using the radio, says to Charlie, "Thank you for giving me my voice." And then Charlie then says to Bumblebee, "Thank you for reminding me who I am," however she said it. Yeah, very sweet. And before Bumblebee leaves, he scans and he turns himself into a Camaro, and it's pretty funny. Charlie says, "You could have been a Camaro this whole time?" Yeah. And right before Bumblebee drives off, he plays one song, "Don't Forget About Me," that song. And at the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, Bumblebee catches up with Optimus Prime. Yeah, Optimus Prime had arrived on Earth, and yeah, that was great. And the epilogue, because, Charlie with her family once again, and, one last scene with both her and Memo trying to go for Charlie's hand, and, Charlie's like, "We're not there yet." So, yeah, they're not there yet, but they will eventually. And we get a mid-credits scene where Optimus is having a conversation with Bumblebee. He still calls him B-127, but Bumblebee tells Optimus that he now goes by Bumblebee. And yeah, a little sample of Charlie, her voice is heard on the radio saying Bumblebee. So that was great. And we see the rest of the Autobots coming in. Yeah, because at this point, the Autobots, they are safe and sound on Earth. And at this point, Charlie finally fixed and repaired the Corvette, and thus we see her driving it, and boom, the movie ends. What a great way to end Bumblebee. Bumblebee, again, I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved it. Definitely one of the top best Transformers films. Definitely. It's such a good film, and for it being a Transformers film. And definitely, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 stars for Bumblebee. And what about you guys? What did you think of Bumblebee itself? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. And so, the Transformers Marathon has come to a close. It's been a lot of fun reviewing all of the Transformers films, and yeah, most of them not being the best. And yeah, I understand. But, I still enjoy them, and there's no doubt that there are plenty of people that enjoy all of the Transformers films. And I can't wait to see what Rise of the Beasts has in store, and until I review it. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Bumblebee. More review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. Take care, and until the next review marathon, peace out.